Kinahan Cartel's next move, from Dubai to Russia. Within the context of its global criminal operations, the Kinahan Cartel is about to enter a key and perhaps transformative chapter. Once based amid the sun-soaked grandeur of Dubai, the cartel is now under mounting legal and diplomatic pressure that is beginning to dissolve the protective bubble it enjoyed for years in the United Arab Emirates. This pressure is in the process of dismantling the protective bubble. A confluence of international sanctions, asset freezes, and a newly assertive extradition framework driven by unprecedented cooperation between Ireland, the United States, and European Union. Member states have cornered the leadership of the Gulf state, including Daniel Kinahan and his father Christie, who were once thought to be untouchable. They are now finding themselves in a position where they are unable to escape the situation. Not only did Dubai provide the Kinahans with a luxury lifestyle, but it also provided them with the kind of jurisdictional ambiguity that shielded them from immediate legal risks throughout their entire time there. Historically, the United Arab Emirates has been reluctant to extradite high-profile foreign citizens. Additionally, the UAE has been appealing to worldwide elites as a discrete financial hub, which made this agreement possible. However, over the course of the past few years, there has been a substantial shift in the political climate in the Gulf. As the United Arab Emirates, UAE, has been experiencing increasing worldwide embarrassment due to the presence of wanted criminals operating with impunity from Emirati soil, it has endeavored to rehabilitate its image in the global community. That endeavor resulted in the signing of a long-sought extradition treaty with Ireland, and more importantly, the execution of that treaty with the high-profile extradition of Kinahan associate Sean McGovern in 2025. Both of these events were significant. As a result of the implementation of asset freezes and the establishment of official legal mechanisms, the previously impregnable fortress in Dubai is no longer a viable base of operations for the Kinahans. In preparation for its disintegration, the cartel has not been completely still. The leadership of the Kinahan has reportedly been painstakingly plotting an escape path that travels not westward, but eastward, to Russia, according to a number of intelligence sources and investigative reports. This is not a hasty response, but rather a strategy that has been put together after careful consideration and has been in the works for years. In order to integrate itself into money laundering and financial networks that extend deep into the Russian underworld and, according to some accounts, touch on state-sanctioned institutions, the cartel has established links with major Russian organized criminal groups. It is said that these ties are strong enough that the cartel may quickly shift its main leaders and operations, avoiding regions where Western law enforcement might otherwise be able to reach them. However, Russia's attraction resides not just in the fact that it does not have an extradition treaty with either Ireland or the United States, but also in the fact that it has a more general geopolitical position, an environment in which high-value fugitives can operate with a degree of official tolerance or even protection is provided by Russia, which is becoming increasingly isolated from the West as a result of persistent sanctions and diplomatic difficulties. In exchange, it would appear that the Kinahan cartel is providing Moscow with something of substantial value, which is access to a pre-existing infrastructure for the trafficking of cocaine that extends from South American sources to distribution channels in Africa and Europe. It is not just a case of one criminal organization seeking protection in the territory of another criminal organization. Rather, it is a deliberate trade in which the Kinahans supply logistical knowledge and links to narcotics in exchange for asylum within one of the few jurisdictions that are still ready to shield them. During this same time period, the Kinahan Group has broadened its scope of operations to include cyber finance and digital laundering. Over the course of its operations, the cartel has transferred hundreds of millions of euros through encrypted cryptocurrency platforms. These platforms are designed to conceal the origin and destination of illicit payments. SMART and TGR are two examples of organizations that are connected to Russia. These technical advancements have made it possible for the cartel to transform from a conventional drug trafficking organization into a more intricate multinational company that combines the illegal trafficking of drugs with high-level financial crime. The fact that they are able to conceal, invest, and increase their riches through the use of digital technologies makes them an even more difficult target for traditional techniques of law enforcement. Despite the fact that they are constructing these new foundations, the walls are still closing in on them. A reward of $5 million has been offered by the United States authorities for information that leads to the arrest of Daniel Kinahan. Additionally, the European Union is increasing its combined efforts to trace the movements of cartels, freeze accounts, and intercept conversations. Law enforcement agencies from Ireland and the European Union are currently involved in what they refer to as an unprecedented level of collaboration with their counterparts from other countries overseas. The success of coordinated operations, such as the enormous crackdown known as Operation Destabilize, which resulted in over 80 arrests and the seizure of tens of millions of dollars in assets related to cartels, is evidence that the net is getting tighter. However, the Kinahan Cartel continues to demonstrate an extraordinary capacity for adaptation. The fact that they have shifted their focus toward Russia is more than just a simple quest for a new hiding place. It is a sign that they have transitioned into a more deeply ingrained kind of criminality, one that aligns itself with political opponents of the Western world. The Kinahans may find temporary shelter by embedding themselves within state-tolerated or state-aligned criminal networks. Yet they also face the risk of becoming pawns in larger international power games if they do so. In a country such as Russia, their future may be secure for the time being. Yet if the political climate were to change, or if their worth to their protectors were to decrease, their future may become uncertain. The path that the Kinahan cartel has taken conveys a more comprehensive narrative about the functioning of contemporary organized crime. These cartels are no longer limited to certain nations or regions. Rather, they have expanded their operations to encompass the entire world, have become proficient in technology, and are increasingly prepared to collaborate with adversarial political groups when it is in their best interest to do so. A bold maneuver that demonstrates both the cartel's ambition and its growing understanding of the limits of conventional sanctuaries. Their departure from Dubai in pursuit of asylum in Russia is not just an act of desperation by any stretch of the imagination. Rather, it is a clear-eyed recalibration of strategy. However, the question of whether or not this subsequent action would provide them with long-term safety or whether it will bring them farther into the sights of a concerted international campaign is still open and continues to evolve. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel